Your ancestors want you to receive many gifts from your family heritage. We can call it ancestral alchemy, we can call it generational healing. But this is the message about that. If you're gonna watch this as a replay, or if you're gonna join me live, I invite you to give yourself a gift and to watch something truly incredible on Netflix. I'm going to highlight this right away. There is a show called Another Self that is filmed by Turkish filmmakers. And the show is so beautiful, filmed in such incredible way, storytelling, the beautiful scenery, and it talks about the impact of our childhood wounds, but not only our life, the wounds of our ancestors, how it continues to affect us. So I am so excited to see that this topic is becoming mainstream. Like if it's on Netflix, if a topic of this level is on Netflix, if you just joined me, hi darlings, it's Katerina Satori. I Whenever I find something incredible, I want to spread awareness, because a lot of times we can approach the same topic through different ways and it lands differently through the years, right? So if you don't know much about my work, I want to kind of introduce myself briefly before I open this conversation on ancestral healing, healing of your childhood wounds. I am a mentor and online teacher and speaker and the mystic, right? So my life is dedicated to wisdom, the path of wisdom, the yoga of wisdom. And I had this awareness since childhood that this life has a bigger meaning and has a bigger purpose. And yesterday I was reading something in the book that the most unbearable thing for a human being is to live without a sense of meaning. So whenever we grow up in a childhood with childhood events that impacted us negatively, traumatic events, if we don't have an understanding how it served us in a bigger way, that suffering becomes a source of deep pain that just continues on and on and on. And it's an experience of how your past doesn't go away. So, what to do if your past does not go away? And I've been on this topic, on this discovery of this topic for the last 15 years with deep, deep passion, because the more I would find ways to heal my heart and my soul and to make peace with my past, the more I would receive a whole new trajectory of life, a whole new set of gifts and opportunities and happiness and joy. And it was a direct reflection of the inner healing and the inner spiritual work that I was willing to do. So a friend of mine told me about this series on Netflix that's called Another Self. She told me about it probably a year ago. And I started watching it and I just didn't get into it right away. Like the first couple of episodes, I a little bit slow, at least for me. So I lost interest and I didn't watch it. But this year, when I asked her, I said, what kind of amazing epic films have you been seeing lately? She said, Another Self on Netflix. So I went in again, and this time the movie totally pulled me in. And this is why I'm creating a live stream for that, because it's truly a film. It's like 8 episodes about this unique spiritual healing technology called family constellations. And a family constellation is a way, it's like this energetic modality, it's an energy healing. Once you experience it, it's so magical, it's so powerful. And I got to know that modality not only for my own healing, but also when I was working with a client who was a master in family constellation. And whenever I work with somebody, as a client, helping them bring their message in a bigger way, I want to do everything possible to understand like the intricacies of their work and to understand how does their modality really work. So when I was supporting that client, I became more and more educated about the power of family constellations and how profound and healing it is to bring clarity to what happened in the past, not only in your childhood, but in the childhood of your mother, in the childhood of your father, in the childhood of your grandparents, right? So there's the whole family tree. Just imagine if the family tree has some infection in the roots, entire tree is going to be affected by it. So the power of healing your ancestral line is truly to heal your entire ancestral tree, right? So why I'm doing this live stream? Because I already taught courses on this. I have energy healing certification on this topic, and I have a regular course. But I'm excited to do this live stream is because there is a mainstream awareness. If something is on Netflix, it means this topic is going mainstream. And I'm really excited about it because we can never go forward without healing the past. Our past will continue to show up, continue to show up, continue to haunt us. And until we're able to look into our past with compassion and understanding and curiosity, it's just we continue to recreate the codes of our family. But here's something that I used to not understand as deeply as I do now, that our ancestors, the lineage of your mother, the lineage of your father, they have incredible gifts that they want to offer to you. They have the amazing history, right? Life experience of going through incredible challenges and overcoming difficulties and finding the fulfillment of their dreams, or creating something beautiful with whatever they had available. These are energetic gifts that you will feel as a sense of empowerment, or as a sense of possibilities, or as a sense of a new vision. And these are energetic gifts that unfold themselves as a result of your spiritual energetic healing. So this series is on Netflix. It's called Another Self. The beginning of it is a little slow. Maybe you will not think that. I thought so. But if you go through a first episode, a second, you will see the unfolding of a storyline. And it's these three women who each have a very different path, of course, but they're three best friends. And they each approach a certain event in their life. You know, they're all in their kind of like late 30s, approaching their 40s. And this is usually the time where a woman begins to ask bigger questions, right? It's a midlife for a woman, because this is the three female characters in that film. This is, you know, she is sensing the impact of her past, the impact of her mother's line. And these women, one is going through a relationship breakdown, another one is going through health challenge, and another one is going through like something repeating from the past. But you see these three life scenarios, how they all meeting a particular theme from the past that just doesn't go away. And I feel this is the most frustrating thing ever. You know, as a person who grew up with very complex childhood PTSD and a lot of wounding from the past, I don't think there's anything more difficult than re-experiencing the echo of your childhood, that it just doesn't go away, it continues to haunt you. It's very depressing. It feels like it's defeating, like you'll never be able to be free from the shackles of your childhood, of your lineage. And then you watch something like Another Self, and you've been introduced to this beautiful healing modality such as family constellation, but without explanation how it works. You're simply being shown it through a storyline. And this is why I think it's so important for everyone who is on the path of healing and awakening and empowerment to watch that series. And yes, so it's called Another Self. Go watch it. Have an amazing time. Binge it if you want. It's 8 episodes. It's really simple. I am very, very picky about what I give my time to. And I can imagine a lot of people feel that way. So to give 8 hours of your time to watch a Netflix show, it must be worth it. So I'm spreading the awareness. The second thing that I wanted to share with you is the beautiful rewards of doing the ancestral healing work. You know, it's so incredible. I feel like this work happens on several levels. The first level is awareness. You become aware that this problem exists. You're like, what? What? The fears of my mother have impacted how I see the world. The worries of my father really determined, how I relate with success and abundance and all of that. So the first level of this ancestral healing journey, and we all have been impacted by our past, all of us. Nobody comes out of childhood without an impact, right? It's just the levels of the impact. So the first level of healing, you understand that the problem exists, and you can be shocked or really excited. You're like so determined to heal because you want to be free. And before you come to that realization, you just live with persistent sense that something is not right, that there is something more to life, and you have this persistent sense of dissatisfaction or sadness. The way that I found out that I was carrying ancestral karma is I would just periodically experience deep sadness, like existential sadness, not feeling all right in the world. And I did not know that that was not just my own personal experience, that I felt an echo of my ancestral line. Unhealed sadness of my ancestors would reach me through energetic pathways. That's called your ancestral line, and I would feel it as deep, profound sense of sadness. So I did not like feeling sadness. Who does? Nobody. So the way that I dealt with sadness at that time, I was working a lot. So just not to feel it, you become very, very busy, right? And when you're busy, it gives you this illusion that you are not feeling the heavy emotions, but it's just like a cover up. It's like a plastic, right? It's not a true experience. So you become either busy, you become very addicted to work. A lot of entrepreneurs that I work with who achieved incredible heights in their professional success, around midlife, they start realizing that they can't stop working, or they have a very difficult time being still, or they panic if they don't see something on their calendar for 3 days. They don't know what to do with themselves. Even though deep in their soul, they desire spaciousness, they desire more ease. Once they get it, they don't know what to do with it. And this is where I inquire into their past. And I say, tell me about your childhood. Tell me about your dad. What was his relationship with work? Tell me about your mom. Because it's all connected. And sooner or later, we're all going to be asked to meet all our traumas and all our wounds. But I want to bring this awareness that every time we do that, we reclaim our capacity for deeper joy. We reclaim the resilience of our ancestors, We reclaim the capacity to feel compassion for them and understanding. Yesterday on the full moon, during the peak of energetic moment, I was by my altar, where my favorite place in the house is my altar, beside my bed, which is very comfortable and amazing, I have this space in the home that's called my devotional ritual space. And I was there lighting a candle and an incense. And instead of asking for anything for myself, this time, yesterday, I felt spontaneously a deep prayer for my mom. And I asked the moon and I asked all the guardians that I work with to bless my mom with good health and to lift her up, lift her spirits and give her more joy, right? And then I just naturally went to my older sister and I offered this deep intention and prayer for my older sister and for her to experience more joy and for her to become more awake in her heart essence, right? So the gifts of ancestral work is this repair, this energetic repair that happens between you and your family members. And I wish you could just push your family members out of your life. Trust me, I've tried. I have many videos on this topic on my YouTube: healing the father wound, healing the mother wound, healing the sibling wound. What I have found, you can't divorce your family. You can only heal that relationship. You can repair it. Whether they're alive or not alive, you can repair that on your end. You can open your heart and heal that connection. And what you're going to receive as a result is increased sense of peace, your ability to be more relaxed in the body. You know, the body holds the wounds of the ancestors. So before I start doing the ancestral healing work and understanding how this plays out, I felt chronic tension in the body, you know, just like a chronic tightness, difficulty to practice yoga. I could work out, I could lift weights, I could run for a long time, I could jog, but ask me to hold the pose in the yoga and to simply drop into the body, that was very difficult. And it's a mirror of what happened when I was growing up around a mom who had very explosive anger. So as a child, you know, I was deeply impacted by the energy of that fearful, angry expression, and it created this pattern of holding attention in the body. So it's all connected. And why I wanted to do this live stream, first of all, just ignite the curiosity for you to go and see that film, and to be enchanted by storytelling. It's a really well done film by Turkish filmmakers. I find that any European independent filmmakers do an incredible job in showing the realities of life and the realities of a human journey. It's not just about happy ending and the good guy beating the bad guy, right? You know, there is way more depth in the human experience, and the real human story has complexity and has messiness and has something unresolved. And I feel like that's why I love that series, because it's filmed with so much honesty and authenticity and objectivity. And when you watch the story, even though it ends in the sense of possibilities, it ends in the sense of faith and hope and vision, but it has a really beautiful emotional moments. And there are a couple of times I almost cried, or I felt like this tenderness swelling in my heart. So that's what I've been up to, darlings. I have been this year of the snake. I just wanted to share with you some updates for those of you who will watch this as a replay on YouTube and Instagram. I personally love this year. I love Year of the Snake. I love the year of wisdom. I love the year of Kundalini rising, right? So, and this is all connected to this ancestral healing. I feel like this is the year to heal for all of us. This is the year to face the burdens of the past so we could let them go, right? this is the year to really look into the patterns that, have been so karmic and so rooted, and make a decision to become free of them, and also to cultivate patience with your process, because like there is a song, you can't rush your healing, right, by Trevor Hall. You can't rush your healing. I wish I could tell you there is the timeline, right? I find that healing is so multidimensional, and it happens on a spiral. I thought it was my cat is there. So I find that there is always a new perspective that we can receive in this journey of understanding of why we chose particular family, and opportunity to understand our family tree, right? And it's really amazing. And then bigger family, right? You start looking at your entire heritage. Why did you choose to be born in a particular country, right? Particular continent. So this topic becomes really rich and filled with many opportunities for self-knowledge. When we know ourselves, we can heal ourselves. When we can heal ourselves, when we can recreate ourselves. But it all starts with, this very ancient wisdom statement: know yourself. And I feel like we cannot truly know ourselves until we learn about our lineage, where we come from, because we literally made of a DNA of our ancestors. So that's what I've been doing. I love that series so much. I was also watching Vikings a lot, and a lot of people get super surprised that I would watch Vikings. I couldn't stop watching Vikings. So it is quite violent. Vikings it is a very violent show. It has a lot of death, a lot of killings and murderings. So I would fast forward a lot of those scenes. But what I love about it, I love the storytelling, and I loved an incredible mastery of showing two very different belief systems, right? So you can learn about the old spiritual path of the Odin path, or the ancient Nordic gods, and the paganism, right? And they did a remarkable job of showing a culture that was really connected to their ancestors. So I was fascinated by that. And then you see this other religion that is trying to insert itself by force, right? And what are the price for that? So I find it's a great show, very long, too many hours to invest, but I have learned so much about history. And I've always been into the world history of what impacted humanity through different cycles of time, right? And how it's all connects, how it's all what we're experiencing right now. And I remember meeting an ancestral healer who was deeply devoted to healing planetary wounds, right? Energetically, like the wounds of the impact of slavery, of the wounds of, what happened to Native Americans. And I've never met a person who had such a calling to do it on the level of the planet. And I thought it was so powerful. I know it's very powerful. So this is probably why I'm interested in topics like this, to understand what happened historically, so to heal it on a level of spirit and energy, and coming into a deeper level of compassion, forgiveness, and empathy. So on this note, it's been 24 minutes. I have so much to do today, but I wanted to hop on and ignite more people into this topic. And those of my viewers who want to go deeper into the healing. If you say, Katerina, okay, I understand the importance of this process. I want the gifts of my ancestors. I want to feel at peace. I don't want to carry my past because I'm tired of it. What I would recommend for you is to actually start educating yourself, like on the next level. Whatever you think you've studied before in this topic, you can always go deeper because your past will not go away by itself. Unless you face it, it will just keep taking another form, taking another person, taking another event. And until you are so tired of that, you say, I want to be free. I want to create, I want to be the first lineage breaker, right? Lineage repair, but also the karmic breaker. So I would say study as much as possible on this topic. Have a session with family constellation healer. I can recommend somebody, my dear friend Clara, who I know personally, who is an incredible person in family constellation work. Um, Another person that I would recommend is Yvonne de la Flor, who has an entire system of healing called Transcendental Rebirth. And I personally went through that process. It was so healing for me on all levels. You know, just to give you a brief context, my mom was unprepared for my arrival, so much so that she tried to prevent my arrival through abortion, right? And I don't blame her, because if I was 22 with a first child on my hand that is 1 year old, and I don't have a man, I don't have I don't have a support system, and I'm 22 and I have like the second child on the way, I would probably do the same. So, but it truly impacted me on the level of energetic and spiritual connection. And I carried this feeling that, you know, nobody was ready for my arrival and I wasn't wanted. And it's a deep psychic imprint in your soul that very important to heal. So I was guided to the work of Yvonne de la Flor. She became one of my dear friends and allies. We taught courses together, we taught events together. I can really vouch for the integrity of her work. And she did a private rebirthing ceremony for me where we were able to recreate my entrance in the world, right? Rewrite the story energetically, where I was welcomed into her arms with so much love and beauty. And that's what she does. She literally rebirths people. So it's a rich topic. I could go on and on and on. I feel I've planted many seeds. Enjoy this if it calls to you. And I wish everyone the profound joy of making peace with your ancestors. There is nothing like it. You know, there is nothing like it after having a very strained relationship with your mom and your dad or your siblings, to do this courageous work of lineage repair and then wake up one day and have nothing incomplete. You don't have any conversations that are not said. You are, every day you live this very clean experience, right? You did the lineage repair and you have warmth towards your ancestors. You reestablish that ancestral communication link. So your ancestors can actually send you strength. They can send you inspiration. They can send you good fortune and auspiciousness. All of that I see is happening in my life. And I give thanks to my ancestors, whom I was able to heal that line. On this note, I wish you a beautiful Sunday, beautiful week, beautiful now, wherever you're at. And I'm going to post the links of recommended next steps underneath this live stream on Instagram, YouTube, and of course, here on Facebook. Have a beautiful, beautiful now.